The Chicago Blackhawks have been eliminated from the playoffs mathematically for almost an entire month now. Bedard's come as advertised. Obviously, his game's not perfect. He's only 19. But even on a bad Hawks team and a pretty gnarly injury, he's still shown himself to be the cornerstone piece that most people expected him to be. No disrespect here, but looking at this lineup, it's clear to see why this team has had scoring issues all season. I mean, when Bedard got hurt, he was leading the team in points. He missed almost 6 weeks of time, and when he came back, he was still the team's leading scorer. It's pretty clear the Hawks are keying in on getting him some help in terms of line mates or even just depth scoring down the lineup. Taylor Hall coming back from injury next year should help with that. Also getting a top 3 pick, especially if it's Celebrini, will definitely help with that. I know it hasn't been the case recently, like other guys have been chipping in for the Hawks, especially Philip Kurashev, but after a season where Bedard was pretty much the only focal point on offense for this team, I think it could do some real good for his development to go over to the World Championships in the Czech Republic for Team Canada, not only for the experience of going to go play for the gold medal, playing with stakes. I mean, the Hawks have been out for how long now? It'd be really good for him to play some winning hockey with something on the line again, heading into next season, but also the skill players he's going to get to be alongside there. I know some people point to last year and say there wasn't a lot of skill on that team. Some people were calling it the worst Team Canada ever. They even have that engraved on their gold medal rings, worst team ever. Rick Nash is the GM this time around though. He's already reached out to Bedard and to Mason McTavish of the Ducks just to kind of gauge their interest in playing at this year's tournament. It's only been those two players specifically so far because those two teams have been officially eliminated from the playoffs, which I get. It's a respect thing, right? I mean, you let guys focus on the season, trying to make the playoffs. I mean, if you go to Crosby now and say, hey, you want to play in the World Championship, Sid? It almost sends a backhanded message like, hey, even though you're only 3 points out, we don't think you're going to make it. So I definitely understand why Nash is waiting a little bit to make those other calls, but hey, I hope Bedard says yes here. Now, let's be clear, even if he says no, it's not going to hurt his development. Like, he's going to be totally fine, but I do think this is a really cool opportunity to go and do this, especially if somebody like Crosby says yes and we get to see those two play together. That would be magic. It would be like when Crosby and McKinnon got together at the 2015 World Championships and that team went undefeated. There is a very real possibility that this happens. I mean, like I mentioned, Bedard's already been contacted about this, and according to Pierre LeBrun, Nash does expect to call Crosby once the Penguin season wraps up. And yes, of course, I really want to see this happen. That would be amazing. Even if it's just Bedard, I'd be happy to see that. After what he did at both World Junior tournaments he played in, like when the kid puts on the Team Canada sweater, he's just a beast. You put him next to some established NHL talent or even some NHL superstars, like that's must-watch TV. Some of it could even be a precursor to the Four Nations face-off we're going to see with him and Team Canada that we're going to get in, 10 months? I could totally see a world here where Crosby and Bedard play at the World Championships together, and then at the Four Nations face-off, because they had chemistry at the Worlds, they get put on the same line. I'll keep you guys posted because I do think this has the potential to be really fun depending on who says yes to going to play for Team Canada here. As usual, give me your thoughts in the comments about this. If you want more Bedard content, because I haven't really been making much lately, let me know by liking the video and subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. You're awesome.